Hi everybody, welcome to Tech Growth Stocks channel. Today I present you a new episode. Specifically, I will give you 5 top solar stocks for 2021. So these solar stocks have strong momentum and some have good growth as well. And many of them came back over the last 2 or 3 trading days heavily. So I think it's a very exciting time to look at the solar stocks. And with these attractive prices, and I think the solar sector has more room to run going forward. I mean, the green energy and clean energy space is a leading sector, and the solar sector as well. We have seen very strong performances, so I think it definitely makes sense to have a look at these stocks now and to focus the research on this exciting sector. Okay, so before I start right off with the first solar stock, I have to make a short disclaimer. This video does not constitute financial advice. It's for entertainment purposes only, so please consider that. And also one more quick note, please subscribe now to my channel with a link in the description below so that going forward you do not miss any market leading stocks from me, so please subscribe now. Okay, so that was it for the intro. So let's start right off with the first solar stock. And one quick note, this is part 2 of the series of the top solar stocks. If you missed part 1, have a look on my channel. There are excellent solar stocks as well. Okay, so let's start right off with the first stock. And as you can see it in the charts, it is ENPH, Enphase Energy. And here in the long-term chart, you can see Enphase Energy. Now it has been in a long-term uptrend, let's say since around September 2017, where it broke the downtrend, this downtrend here. It moved into an uptrend and has been trading up since then in a very strong fashion. Yeah. And in the short-term chart here, we see an uptrend as well. And you can see as well, for instance, here we undercut the 50-day a little bit, but still we could bounce off the 50-day, trade to the upside. Then we traded to the upside from the 30-day moving average strongly. And here we bounce off the 20-day moving average. And yeah, for instance, here we bounced a little bit of the 30-day moving average. We undercut it a little bit, but we had a bounce. And now it looks like we are bouncing off the 50-day moving average. So I think from a technical standpoint, Enphase Energy is looking excellent here. And when we look at the growth characteristics, the growth is a little bit sluggish. The EPS growth, it's minus 249%, and the sales growth is minus 4%. But the relative strength rating or the momentum is good with 93. So I think with this of a good momentum, Enphase Energy is definitely a top solar stock for 2021. Okay, so that was it for Enphase Energy. Now let's have a look at the next solar stock for 2021, and it is NOVA, Sonova Energy. Here you can see the long-term chart of Sonova Energy, and as you can see, Sonova is a quite young company. It had its IPO in July 2019. And why do I say that? Because in their first 10 years, 95% of the super performance in super performing stocks is happening in their first 10 years. So it definitely pays if you watch out for young companies in their first 10 years, because they could have strong runs going forward, especially if they are in very hot sectors and very hot themes like the solar theme, and it could definitely pay off many times over. And yeah, after its IPO, Sonova formed a nice IPO base here, and here we can see as well we had a Corona breakdown last year in Sonova, but we made a low in March 2020, reversed from that low, traded to the upside, and formed a nice and strong uptrend in Sonova Energy. The short-term chart, we see that uptrend here, strong uptrend. Here we see a period of pause in that uptrend, which is a base. And here we could break out of that period of pause in the uptrend and continue with the uptrend. And now it looks like we are building a new base here. So we are currently having a pause in Sonova, but I think soon we could trade further to the upside and continue with that nice uptrend here. When we look at the growth characteristics for Sonova, yeah, the EPS growth is a little bit sluggish. It's minus 21%, but the sales growth is very good with 30%, and the relative strength rating is good as well with 90. So with these characteristics, Sonova Energy is definitely a good solar stock for 2021. Okay, so that was it for Sonova. Now let's have a look at the next solar stock for 2021, and it is SEDG, Solar Edge Technologies. Here you can see the long-term chart of Solar Edge, and as you can see, this is from 2017, we were trending upwards or higher until May 2018. Then we had a correction phase, and we could break the downtrend here of that correction phase in April 2019 and have been trending higher since then. In the short-term chart, you see an uptrend here as well, the uptrend, and you can see as well, for instance, here we undercut the 50-day, but we had a bounce. When you look in the long-term chart, we had a bounce of the 100-day moving average to the upside strongly. And here, yeah, here we had a bounce of the 100-day moving average as well. We undercut it swiftly, but still we could bounce to the upside strongly. And yeah, recently here we came back a little bit. Now we are correcting a little bit, and now it looks like we could bounce of the 50-day here. And yeah, and when we see here, we had a bounce as well of the 100-day moving average. I mean, here we undercut it, but still we could bounce. So I think at these levels, it's an attractive entry point for Solar Edge, and I think soon we could bounce to the upside and continue with that strong of an uptrend. When we look at the growth characteristics for Solar Edge, the EPS growth is plus 4%, not the strongest, and so is the sales growth, it's minus 8%, but the relative strength rating is okay with 88, and Solar Edge is in a strong sector in the solar space and clean energy space. So I think solar is definitely a good solar stock for 2021. Okay, so that was it for Solar Edge. Now let's have a look at the next strong solar stock for 2021, and it is AZRE, Azure Power. Here you can see the long-term chart of Azure, and as you can see, Azure is also a quite young company. It had its IPO in October 2016. After its IPO, it built a nice IPO base here, but it could not break out to the upside. No, it broke down to the downside and formed a downtrend, and then it could we made a low with that downtrend in January 2019. We reversed from the low, traded to the upside. Here we broke the downtrend in September 2019, traded further to the upside and formed a nice and very strong uptrend since then in Azure Power. When we look in the short-term chart, we see an uptrend here, and we can see as well here we had a period of pause in the uptrend, which is a base, and we had a subsequent base breakout, traded to the upside strongly, and then here we have another base, could break out of that base, traded to the upside, and now we are having a little bit larger correction in Azure Power. But I think this after that strong run up, it's normal to have corrections, and I think that price level could be attractive. When we look in the longer term chart, for instance, here we bounced a little bit above the 100-day moving average to the upside. Here we bounced again above the 100-day moving average to the upside, and now we undercut it a little bit. I think maybe we could see a bounce from the 150-day moving average now. So I think these price levels are good for Azure Power, or for a position in Azure Power. When we look at the growth characteristics, the EPS growth is sluggish, it's minus 70%, but the sales growth, it's okay with plus 16%, and the relative strength rating is okay as well with 88. So I think Azure Power is also a good solar stock for 2021. Okay, so that was it for Azure Power. Now we come to the last solar stock for 2021 for today, and it is CSIQ, Canadian Solar. Here you can see the long-term chart of Canadian Solar, and as you can see, now we have been moving in a volatile fashion sideways for quite some time, yeah, from let's say around 2017 until June 2020, where we could break out from that sideways moving phase and form a nice and strong uptrend since then. In the short-term chart, we see that strong uptrend, and we can see here as well, for instance, here we undercut the 50-day a little bit and bounce to the upside. And here we bounce off the 30-day moving average. Here we bounce off the 30-day moving average again. Here we undercut the 50 swiftly, and then we had a bounce. And here we had a bounce as well. I mean, this whole thing, it is a period of pause in the uptrend. It is a base. And finally, we could break out of that base, trade to the upside. And now it looks like we're having a new period of pause in that in the uptrend. I think soon we could continue with the uptrend with Canadian Solar and trade to the upside. And also we are trading at the 50-day. I think this is an excellent entry point position here at the moment in Canadian Solar, and I think soon we will bounce to the upside, and I think then we could see a strong run in Canadian Solar. When we look at the growth characteristics, these are not the strongest for Canadian Solar. The EPS growth, it's sluggish with minus 76%, and the sales growth, it's minus 6%, but the relative strength rating, it's okay with 86. And Canadian Solar, I mean, it's in the hot clean and green energy space and solar space, so I think it has definitely room to run going forward and has a strong uptrend here. So I think it's a good solar stock for 2021. Okay, so these were the solar stocks for 2021 for today. I hope in that video are some nice solar stocks for you which you can use for your research. And also have a look on my channel if you are into solar stocks. Yesterday I released another video about the top solar stocks for 2021, and these stocks are even stronger, have even stronger momentum. So if you are in solar stocks, definitely have a look at that video as well. And please subscribe now to my channel with a link in the description below, so that going forward you do not miss any market leading stocks for me and do not miss any clean energy stocks or also clean and green energy stocks, the solar stocks and other strong themes with leading stock in the market with the energy revolution. So please subscribe now. Thank you for watching that video, and I think this year will be an exciting year for stock investments and overall for the clean energy space, because with all that fiscal and monetary stimulus going on around the world from all of these central banks and governments, I think this will propel stock prices even higher, and also this will open doors for clean energy investments. So I think at the end of the year we will have higher stock prices, and also we will have more of an impact in the clean energy and in the ESG space overall. Okay, so thank you again for watching, and I hope to see you again soon in the future. Cheers.